So, why do neurodivergent travelers sometimes feel lonely when they're on vacation? If you've been on vacation surrounded by people, but still just kind of felt strangely alone, I honestly think a lot of neurodivergent travelers experience this feeling more than people realize. Hi, my name's Heath, and I've diagnosed with autism, ADHD. I'm also a travel agent, and I'm creating a community where me and others like me share tips, tricks, travel hacks, and have honest conversations about the emotional reality of traveling as neurodivergent. So, I don't know if it's perception or not, but the vacation everyone else seems to be having oftentimes is that you feel like everyone is experiencing vacations differently, being fully present, socially energized, emotionally connected, and effortlessly enjoying everything. And that was all wow. I was feeling overstimulated, exhausted, and masking from social pressure and cognitive overload. And that created a strange emotional disconnect that really was tough. Because you can love the place you're in and still feel disconnected from the experience. So, obviously, we spent the majority of our life masking. And I think masking plays a huge role in this for many neurodivergent travelers. A lot of us spend vacations trying to match everyone else's energy, look excited, stay socially engaged, and avoid seeming overwhelmed and not in the mood. And that takes so much effort. Faking it is exhausting. When your brain is spending more energy monitoring yourself, it becomes harder to simply exist in the moment, which is one of the pleasures of vacation. And overstimulation can feel like emotional numbness. One thing I didn't understand for a long time is that overstimulation does not always feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels like emotional distance. So you're just zoning out, feeling disconnected. You become quieter. You struggle to process emotions as they're happening and you feel emotionally flat. And the worst part is that also causes guilt. Guilt because you're thinking to yourself, why don't I feel happier? Why can't I enjoy the same things everyone else does the way they do? And ultimately, what's wrong with me? You ever felt that way? Or is it just me? And a lot of it is processing. I struggle really hard with processing. Things that happen to me now, I don't understand it for days and weeks and sometimes months on end. And I think many neurodivergent people process experiences differently emotionally. So, like, sometimes you don't feel the weight of the trip till afterwards. Like I said, with normal stuff, days later, months, like weeks later. Sometimes I look back at photos and realize, oh, this actually meant a lot to me. But in the moment, my brain was simply trying to process too much at once. And I think people oftentimes think delayed emotional processing, they mistake it for not caring. And that is, I mean, it's unfortunate and causes a lot of misconceptions. This can really get intensified in group travel. I definitely think group travel makes it harder. Always together, always participating, always emotionally available, always upbeat. And a lot of those things neurodivergent people regulate through solitude and quiet versus all the togetherness. So, needing time alone can accidentally create feelings of guilt or isolation. And that's where the loneliness comes from. And it's the loneliness of feeling different. I think one of the hardest parts of being of main neurodivergent travelers is not just the exhaustion itself. It's feeling different with everyone while everyone else seems fine. Not feeling like everyone else and then trying to be like everyone else, which is what masking is, has always been one of the biggest problems we came up with. When you're overwhelmed in a place that's supposed to feel like paradise or feel magical, it can become very isolating emotionally, especially when you haven't processed or understand why you're doing it. So, like so much of my life, and I'm sure yours, understanding yourself changes how you travel. One of the biggest changes for me was realizing how my brain worked and that my brain and nervous system were processing, and realizing that I stopped judging myself so harshly. So let's talk about the message we usually do. Pacing, expectations, scheduling, breaks, accommodation, and communication. All things that we can change that makes our trip go better. And once you do that, traveling starts feeling much less emotionally lonely after that. Ultimately, I think many neurodivergent travelers quietly believe they are somehow experiencing vacations incorrectly. And but the thing is this, sorry, there's no single correct emotion responding to travel. Sometimes people process outwardly, sometimes inwardly, sometimes immediately, sometimes slowly. And you're fine. Needing space, rest, quiet, and emotional compression does not mean that what you experience mattered less. And when you realize that, it'll open up a lot of doors for you. I hope this was helpful today. If you did enjoy it and want to experience more conversations like this, have a chance to meet other travelers like you, or just have me help you plan the vacation of your dreams, visit yourneurodivergenttravelaGent.com. I hope to see you there. Talk soon.